Bop. We are starting with the choo-choo. With the choo-choo. With the Ezra Choo. Chatty chatty choo-choo. Chatty chatty choo-choo. There he is. Hi. Hi, big guy. Ooh. Hello. Ooh. Ooh. How are you? Hmm? In need of hydration. That's how he is. Staying hydrated is very important. It's very important, oftentimes overlooked. So, very happy that you're taking the time to put fluids back in you. That's a good thing. Hello, all you fancy people. Let's go out there and get fancy, okay? I'm gonna be going around seeing some kitty cats. Tis midday. Tis midday on a Sunday. Already starting to get all sorts of warm. So a lot of cats are gonna be hunkered. But it's always like hunkered down. What's hunkered up? If you're hunkered down, it's like you're taking kind of cover in a, I guess like a lowered position. And lowered position doesn't necessarily have to mean like the actual literal kind of physical. Drew! It's Drew! He's walking by, Drew! There he is! There's the man himself, Drew! Drew! Okay, back to Slade. Drew, he's saying... Drew! Well, think about that. Because I think that the down part of hunker down actually it may like the physical location and like how what your body is doing and all that stuff. Yes. Because it's like, okay, there's a hurricane a coming. We got to go hunker down. You know, like you're gonna get into. I mean, of course, if it's like a storm surge area, you don't want to get into like a basement because in the flood. Maybe a tornado. We gotta hunker down. There's tornadoes that coming. There's one that's coming right for us. Get your guns. Pew, pew, pew. Not today, tornadoes. Get out of here, spinny boys. No, but yeah, you're gonna get into a lower room. Protective kind of things, you know, like, oh, I'm going to put some mattresses on top of me in case debris decides to fall. So, yes. But then it also has to do maybe with, I keep on wanting to say like, no, like the emotional like elements, but no, it's like I guess like the representative or I'm really having a hard time kind of conceptualizing. Yeah. Boomer's like, it's okay, just don't worry about it. Just film me. It's one of I have a concept in my head, and almost through like subconscious language, I know what it is. I know what the concept is, but it's about translating that through my conscious self into a translatable, articulate form. That's, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's just like, I know what the concept is, but I don't have the language to tell you what it is. Isn't that frustrating sometimes? How that works? And what's even way more frustrating is when I know that I have in the past had the capacity to explain the idea that's currently in my head. I know that I've done it, but for some reason I can't conjure it right now, in this moment. That can be like super frustrating. Hi, Mita Pita. Hi, baby. How are you? Do you know? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're stretching the limits of your cognitive capacity as it relates to translating amorphous concepts into, I guess, articulate thoughts. But that's so much about, the nature of communication. I mean, language is just a form of telepathy. Written language, spoken word. It is. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. But that's what it is when you break it down. Basically, I have thoughts inside my brain, inside my head movies. And if I want to transmit those head movies and upload them into your brain, I need to make sounds with my mouth or write words with my hands that your eyes can then process. And then your brain can translate. But it still is like an analog kind of thing. There's, in a weird way, it still is like more primitive, if because a lot of times, even with all of the complexity of words and language and grammar and structure, it's still, hi baby, hi princess, oh, were you snoozing? Sorry, I was talking about the concepts of language structures, and you were trying to nap. Sorry, baby. I'm totally not annoyed right now. Hi, baby. Sweetie pie. But I would venture to say that even with all of our languages and our structures and whatnot, it still doesn't quite do the job of transmitting and translating thought from one brain to another. Hi. Because like words and language and sentences and phrasing is just, that's one translation. That's a translation in and of itself, trying to translate the language of the brain, which a lot of times there's common, from what I understand with like people like doing brain studying type stuff, brain researchers, the stuff that I've heard, read, basically says it's like, yeah, there's commonalities in the way kind of brains have internal communication, internal dialogue, the way that the way that neurons and synapses fire. Sure, there's similarities amongst people, but then there's also a lot of times brain languages, internal kind of brain languages, how the brain communicates with itself, can, in many ways, many of the processes are unique to the individual. Which makes the prospect of like a telepathic kind of thing, even if it was assisted via technology, almost like an Elon Musk's Neuralink kind of thing, there's still a lot of challenges to overcome, because you're talking about the internal intrinsic language of one brain trying to then communicate itself to the internal intrinsic language structure of another brain. Kind of wacky. But anyway, I digress. The whole notion of language, yeah. Look at these boys. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh, love it. I love it. Oh, they're just gonna hang out with each other. Mwah. The adorableness. It's getting too much to bear. Look at these boys. Yeah. But yeah, language is just another. Language is it's a translator kind of thing, because basically, like my conscious mind or my subconscious mind, in a lot of times, has to use its own internal tools to say, okay, this is basically like this is the concept that I have inside my head. So I need to run it through my program, the program that I've downloaded over, a number of years of learning language. And then I have to try to put that into this transmission codex, which is what it is. It's like I can't transmit myself, so I have to put it into this transmittable codex kind of form and then push it out. I have to send a transmission, which then has to then be ingested and then run through that person's own translation software. Look at these guys. Look at them. They are just being so sweet. Oh my gosh. And if you don't think I am capturing, you are sorely mistaken and quite frankly crazy. Good boys. Good boys. I don't want to upset the dynamic, to be honest. Really don't. Because if they're having a really great time, sometimes even my presence can just kind of make things a little bit kind of... Hold on. Okay, back to Volvo. Back to Volvo. Hi, bud. You're very snuffly, very cute. Very snuffly, very cute. Don't know if you knew that, but he is. Very snuffly, very cute. Totes and goats. Oof, I actually slept today. Probably is explaining why I'm getting chatty about the topics that I'm getting chatty about. I know you can stay there. You don't have to get up. Don't worry about it, bud. You can just stay right there. Just stay there. Be comfy. Be comfy. He's a good boy. I am a Nadal and Diwali fan. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I really am. Some of my favorite personalities in cats that have ever been here at the Facilita. Also, my filming schedule is a little bit kind of wonky. So I filmed something yesterday morning, which is actually the Thursday webcast. And then today, Sunday, midday, I'm filming the Fancycast, which usually I'll do webcast, then Fancycast afterwards. And now I'm going to be filming the Tuesday Walk Around the Compound webcast later on this evening when it cools down a little bit. And I'm doing that specifically because I wanted to consider a lot of the different notes that people had. So, and it's not, well, and you'll probably have seen it by now. Hi peas, hi peas, hi peas. You'll probably have seen it already by now, the Tuesday webcast. And I wasn't gonna put like these big time over the top, oh my gosh, and welcome to because it's my 500th episode, and give a round of applause for the Rockettes, like dun, 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 dun. It's not one of those kind of things. I wanted to get the shot of him walking through the bush because I know he's gonna come back this way. He's gonna look very handsome doing that. Like JP in the bushes. There he is. Hi. Oh boy, that was a great walk up. Oh, it's getting a little breezy. Don't be. Oh my gosh, I was unprepared. He had me dead to rights. I was totally unprepared. I was not in a. I was weird. It was like slow motion. I could see him pointing his apparatus at me, but I wasn't in a good footing position to be able to like jump out of the way without possibly like rolling an ankle. So it was just like, oh no, like if he sprays, I'm gonna have to just basically take it. And he didn't. I was like, oh no, that kind of, close call. Freaked me out a little bit. Freaks me out. Ren pen. Hi. Melissa says hi as well. Ren. Hello, sugar pie. Hello, sugar lips. Ren. Oh. Like, is he gone? Good girl. Look at her. Then Pete. Oh, she's like, oh, excuse me. I don't show those for anyone. I don't show my Pete's for anyone, mister. Hi. Hi, Yano. You can see he's got like a new sand area because there was a low-lying area. It would just get carved out over the years where it was difficult to, it was just a puddle area. Just rainwater or bucket water or just whatever, it would just cut that whole area out. And in recent months, it just started to get worse and worse. So this was actually one of the sand areas that we filled in. But as you can see, it's got that nice kind of soft, kind of mushy, spongy kind of consistency that obviously Solano is a fan of. Oh, hi, Ren. Oh, you've come up to say hello. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait, no. There we go. I opened up that door partially and I'm like, that's kind of loud. Let's go ahead and pause that. Let's go ahead and give that old pause-a-roo. Bobby. Bobby. Hi, sugar pie. Hi, baby. What a good girl. What a good girl you are. Bobby. Bobby. Oh. Yeah, it's hot, but it's a little bit more of a dry heat. So sitting in the shade is okay. It's not terrible. Because that's the other thing. When it's really humid, it oftentimes doesn't matter. I mean, yes, shade still helps, but because the ambient moisture that is, because this is one thing you have to realize about water. Water is a fantastic insulator of heat energy, meaning it heats up and it cools down very slowly. Heats up, cools down very slowly. So if water gets a little bit of that there heat into its molecules, it's going to hold on to that heat for a while. It's just going to hold on to it. So if you have a whole bunch of water particles that are just floating around in the air, again, what's water good at? Holding heat. Water is good at holding heat. So even if you get into the shade, the water's still gonna, the water that's floating in the air over here, it's gonna float over here. And then it's gonna be like, oh, you were trying to cool down? Well, not today, bucko. Speaking of bucko, are you just like sleeping on the bucket? Did you have a rough night last night? Did you drink too many beers? Yeah, you got to make sure to stay. That's another, yeah, whenever you drink, you got to stay hydrated when you've been drinking all them beers. And, you know, like pro tip, yeah, water, if that's all you got, sure, drink water, but you got to get those electrolytes in you. Got to get the electrolytes in you. So like things like sports drinks, those are good. Coconut water, that's good. Pro users will down a bottle or two of Pedialyte before you go to bed, not when you wake up. Before you go to bed, drink that bottle of Pedialyte. If you've been drinking a whole bunch, you know, you go out with a bunch of friends, you know, like, hey, Friday night, I'm gonna be going out with a bunch of friends. We're gonna be hitting up some of the bars. I'm gonna go to a party and everything. You know, it's been a busy week, got a lot of stuff done. I deserve to treat myself. Make sure before you do all of that, on your way home from work that Friday, just stop down at the, you know, CVS or something like that. Pick you up a bottle of that Pedialyte, just keep it in your fridge. So that when you stumble back home at like 1 in the morning, and then you're looking for like leftover pizza, you'd be like, oh yeah, pizza today. And then you drink it before you pass out. Do that. Trust me, you'll be like, you'll wake up feeling a little bit fresher in the morning. I promise. Promise. It's your medicine. Hi. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi. That's a good girl. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Good girl. And a good boy. And a good boy. Oh, yeah. All right. Sweetie. Hey, this sweet little nugget over here. This little cutie pat tootie. Cutie pat tootie. And Mikazara are hunkered down. Oh, hunkered down. That started a whole, you know, odd conversation, meandering that ultimately didn't really go anywhere. No ultimate point. Basically, we just drove in circles, right back. Oh, I didn't realize that she was right there too. Both the girls hunkered down in the shade. Anyway, thank you so much for supporting. supporting me in Patreon, for subscribing to the content. Really appreciate you. Appreciate your contributions. I'm going to keep on trying to make content for y'all. And I will see you next time. So take care, fancy people. Bye-bye.